Yo, what's going on? What's good, everybody? We back. 100K watch. 100K watch. Let's do this. I'm just going to share out that we're live. There we go. Whoops. There we go. All right. Welcome back to the stream. Let's get Hisoka today. I am back to farm some clout. We out here farming. And let's get the charts. Oh, we got the wrong one up. Stream charty. What were we looking at last? We were looking at the VIX. And VIX has pushed up a little since. But let's get that paste going. Let's frickin' go, man. Let's freaking go. We live. What I can't understand is some people selling at a moment like this. I don't even understand. We passed the previous all-time high by a mile and people are selling because it's a good time to sell, I guess. Is what they think, but really it only just began because we can look at the BLX and we can see what happened every time after something like this. Let's get it to a blue line. We need a blue line because then it retains that same, you know, it creates this massive parabola out of the previous all-time highs, which was this blue line. And I think this peeking through like this shows that it had so much anticipation for moving through this point. And that's why we up here now. Right? Like, let's go look at one of our other charts here and see what's going on. Because that looks more accurate now, the way that we put this fractal out. So that would tell us that the next move is probably to about 120K on this parabola. Probably in the next couple days. We could see up to 120K. It looks very similar in the way that it broke through on this previous fractal. So I think I'm going to leave it like that because that's kind of a good anticipation. It plays out pretty nicely. It actually goes out to about 200K and then second wave goes out to about 300 to 340 for the second wave. So this kind of, we could see this kind of dip correction to December and then another rally from January on. I think this is the 2021 fractal is what we took. We took the 21 fractal and just laid it out so that it looked all right on what we're seeing right now. So keeping an eye on that for BTC. Again, check out all the links in the description if you want to see. I want to support, the channel. Just see the links down there. We got PrimeXBT. We got Breakout Prop trading app is really good. Definitely check them out. Up to 200K in prop firm accounts for crypto. And yeah, We got all sorts of links in the description there if you want to check them out. If you want to join the Telegram where we give out the calls, we give out all these calls early for meme coins, for all that sort of stuff. We gave you GME at a few million, I think it was 2 million. We gave you Myro at under a few million. You know, we gave you many of these call outs really, really early. So what we're looking at on BTC, I think in the near term, is just for this, let's put on 1 hour actually, just to see this 100K sort of zone break through. You know, we kind of came back into this. That was what I was talking about, kind of a trend on upwards that way. And it looks close, you know, it's close enough to encapsulate the idea that I was kind of saying, is that we would just continue grinding up until we broke through the sort of highs of that range. And another way to look at this, let's pull up a different chart just so we can kind of see what's going on. See, this was kind of my drawing that played out really well. Rejected here at 93, then it pushed up, and when it pushed up, it really pushed into the 99, actually 99.113, so almost 100K, which I was saying last stream, like 100K fast, right? That's what we were talking about, 100K fast. And so we're basically there. I think this is a miniature version of what we've seen here. So this kind of upward grind, and eventually we're gonna pop through that right at the 100K mark. And it's like, I mean, I think psychological level, the people that wanted to sell before 100K or at 100K, they're selling right now, and that's why we're grinding up sideways. Otherwise we would have already shot up and rocketed through there. That's my anticipation. That's what I'm talking about. It's my call on this one. But some people selling like some of these meme coins right now are just, they're gonna hurt later. They're gonna hurt later, and that's okay. That's their choice to make. But it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt them later. So I don't want to do a very long stream today. I just really want to farm some clout and kind of say, you know, lay out what's next for the next few hours really on Bitcoin. Continue grinding up. You know, seeing this, that structure breaking out. Very, very strong right here. See that this underneath did not get invalidated, and that on the 4 hour, this trend we talked about, how it's a nice big wide trend, it just continues on, and it had to clear this. At this point we have no previous structure. We don't understand, we haven't seen anything. Right around here, this was the high, so we don't have anything. This is all uncharted territories, and this is what price discovery means, is that it can continue going up. So all we really have to work with is kind of the trend, that we can follow this as like a major trend. So once it broke out and then started a trend, we're on that major trend support. The next big rally up, and then we have another sort of major trend support here. I mean, you could say that there is a more narrow initial trend, but I like this as the first low and this is the second low. Makes more sense to me. So I think that's kind of our trend right now. And as you can see, it did not reject that trend, so we continue on up. Now we're looking for this kind of a move. Right, so that led to this. which is pretty close. You know, it reached up again, I guess a little bit higher. So we could do something kind of in the middle and say that's kind of next from the breakout there. So probably just over 100K before we see some more sideways action. And look for kind of this consolidation up here. And then it'll continue on. But you don't want to see it deviate this. That's kind of how we work with this now. Is you want to see this next trend structure be consistent. This older trend structure kind of continuing. And, you know, like it could take a while before it hits that kind of double trend structure right there, peeking through 100. So I'll leave both of those. Those are kind of our two structures, I would say. Let's do it probably closer to that. And so see those trend structures, we would like to see them stay in play, both this one and the previous one, and kind of bounce around there and then go. Otherwise it could show more strength making a flag up here, you know, just past 100. We could potentially flag right here too. It doesn't matter where it flags. You can do so many different things. But I like that location, so I'm going to leave it. I like that location, I'm going to leave it. So that's what I'm looking at on BTC. People saying ETH. So yeah, I mean, ETH could be starting to recover. This is a pretty nasty trend from that spike it had up. So we'll see if it kind of recovers this and, you know, can make it back up into this 3.5 region. Above that would be much more supportive of ETH on sort of a reclaim of this big down structure. We're just getting more nitpicky here though. But that's kind of like, we want to see that break. Because it had a tough time breaking it previously. So see it kind of move out of there. But yeah, I mean, the USD pair looking a little bit more unsy for sure. So we talked about this, look. We talked about coming up here and then retesting. It retested a little shallower than we anticipated just because of, I thought, weakness in Ethereum. Probably when I drew this, I was more bearish on Ethereum. I'd say I'm still pretty bearish, but I'm getting a little more bullish now, seeing some volume coming in. Like, more volume coming in is good. That's kind of like what we've seen here, right? Some construction of volume. But yeah, I would stick with guys like this. This is great to see. This is huge to see on a daily. That we're way above these all-time highs on Solana ETH. Right? Like I talked about right here, this is kind of the zone to watch out for the big ripples and then play out of it. And we can see the play out of it was huge. We got big bounces and big moves. So we're above this megaphone pattern. That's super bullish. So look for a next leg up. Sort of like this. Right, just anticipate another leg up out of here. Similar to Sol BTC, we have this major trend structure here. Let's kind of tap these tap these and starting to push out of there. If we wanted to get serious about it, we would go like this and show that like this was the low, right? It would technically be even sharper. Right? Because this was the low. So high to low, that's your trend. It broke it, it retested the lows, went back up, retested kind of the midpoint. Now we're seeing if we can break through these highs. I think that's a good place to see for a continuation. But this I think is important to see because this is kind of the longer time frame downtrend. It looks cleaner as to write a trend line on something like that. But now we're getting some W formations coming out of here, so I think just like this big W that I drew out here, that we push up, hit this as resistance, and then push up again, retest potentially, and then move to the next kind of area. So as long as we stay up above this 2.6 sort of area on Solana, it's super bullish. Which we can see on Solana dominance. We had this kind of marked out. This is at all-time highs, right? This is all-time highs, and this is uncharted territory. And this is kind of the same structure that we see in BTC have before it pushed up out of its zone. Flatter top, sharper bottom, and then push up out. So I think Sol is really ready to go here. As we can see, Sol BNB pushing through those all-time highs here soon. On the USD pair, that's that reach that we talked about back here. It took a while to play out, but it played out right from where our entrance is here. Look at that. I said kind of above that guy, it's gonna really rip, right? So it came back to retest that, boom. Above this guy, that's where the move started. It was right above my line. Right above my line. Let's see the one that's got more. So that's where we can see it as well, right? Once it God candled right here, 12% one day, and it pushed up out of this downtrend structure. It's been up only since, with sort of like one kind of major stopping point around the 200 to 220 region. Next move up had a kind of stopping around 240, 230. Next is all-time high. It's dinging on that now. You know, we could dip down back to 248 to see a retest. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, see, I was kind of dinging in between here, but we went above. So we went there fast. And that can happen in these types of environments. That's why a lot of people get sidelined and don't enter the trend early enough, because they're anticipating more down before up. This is buy high. So yeah, buy high, sell higher. So Solana up here just touching the all-time highs. Again, like BTC, we could see some volatility here, because what we can do is we can retrace BTC steps and see what can we infer off of BTC steps. Let me get some water. Alright, sorry about that. Next steps for Solana. We're going to be in all-time high price discovery. Very soon. And what we'll do is we'll pay attention to how and when BTC broke out of its all-time high, what happened. So we can even use the fractal for it. Let's grab one from here. So this was about here, right? This is what we talked about. Let's go over the daily. $73,983. Right, so when we broke through 73,983, it was this candle here. So let's grab it. Bars pattern. And see what we'd be looking at on Sol. Oh god, that's kind of crazy. It's gonna be tough to project. I don't think it's going to 22,000. Well, we're just looking at the pattern, right? Because it's just an image. It took a few days, so 14 days or so. Say something like that. And it went about 75 to almost 100. So it went about 30% of its price up. So 260, 30% of that. You know, you'd be looking at about 130. So say it goes up to like 380-ish. Just if we're projecting correctly. So once it does break, which I would assume would be in the next day or two, looking something like that. That feels kind of accurate, actually. It's definitely possible just for a $20 push on Solana. It's really got to be from 260 though, sorry about that. That's all-time high. Let's make sure. This is, oh, this one's a newer chart. 260.27. Let's see what we got here. $259.881. $259.96. So it actually didn't hit 260, but it already hit 260 this time. 260.27. Yeah, so we got our all-time high. Congrats, soul holders, by 30 cents. But it's you know what? We started from the bottom. We were talking about this way back here. Remember? So we really were shouting about it right around here. And then like meme coins right around here. And then more meme coins right around here. Like we were talking about meme coins throughout this too. So, you know, if you got in when the first sort of live streams came out around last year, this is where you would have been entering 635%. Alright. Even if you entered, you know, somewhere along this entire mega rally, right at the tip, you'd still be up 100% in a year. So, not bad. And now we're on the next leg. I assume it will look something like this. So we're gonna copy and paste that. So that should take Solana into the 300s. If we're just doing a measured leg like the previous one. I think we're doing it a little faster is the only thing. Much faster. We're breaking up to the upside here. Just I mean, sometimes I'm surprised that like I get so few likes and so few viewers when I'm handing out free money. Here, children, take the money. Take the free money, guys. Remember I talked about this here? Once it gets above this, it's gonna move. That's exactly what it did. Could have caught that. 243% in 63 days. We showed you it all the way up. Here's your breakout going up above this move. Could have caught this one. 62% in 9 days. We're handing stuff out on stream as if it's Halloween. So that's why I come back here and I spend some time farming. You know, I grab my rake, grab the hoe, and we do some farming. This, I think we're starting to see the characteristics of a beginning of an alt season. As we are now above this. We're above this zone. I talked about us getting above. And then, you know, it gets, you know, start observing, you know, this is caution. You better be in some positions. Altcoins are going to go wonky. Above this 1.13, alts are going to go really wonky. I think really wonky right to 1.6. Will I can't even think. Willy Wonka's is going to go above there. So yeah, paying attention to alt season. I think it's just starting to cook. Which we got lots of alts we talked to you about. The charts on them are not where I'd like them to be to put them on stream. But it's a dip, so you know what? Like, I've been saying that. I've been saying that in the TG. I've been saying just, you know what? Let's pull some of these up. Let's pull some of these up because they still look good where they're at. Regardless of people that tend to cheat these things. So, looking at GME, this is, you know, someone asked me in my Telegram, what's your favorite meme coin? And I'll have to say that GME is one of my more favorite ones. Entering this under $1 million and having it move up to, you know, 100 mil. That was my fastest 100x in a few days. To then see it, you know, return back to about the 3 million mark was depressing. This was depressing to say the least. But with the return of Roaring Kitty, this massive wake and forming structure that we see now that is relevant in both of the meme coin and GME, the meme stock. I think just paying attention to what happened when liquidity comes back into the system and understanding that these parabolas can extend, and like this could be just doing a really slow methodical one, right? It's going to take some time. But it's starting to speed up. We'll see where this next leg push comes from. But I think pretty soon, you know, we see it hit the edge of this parabola. It could again very well be extending outwards. So it could take a little while before it starts to climb. But the inevitable for something like GME on Solana is that it will climb. And if we see either the stock or Roaring Kitty show up, this is what we're looking at, you know? We're looking at this going to the billions, where you just have to kind of zoom out your screen and you can see that on stuff like Pepe, right? I talked to you guys about Pepe. I definitely did. And you can go and look back at my short videos. We talked about Pepe in the lows. You know, we talked about Pepe way back when. And we were talking about Pepe at, you know, at points throughout this summer of 2023. And what that would have looked like, you know, like this is massive, right? Like these are some of the start of some of these meme coins is like that. Okay, that's all that people see right now, and then they grind sideways and that actually shrinks. See, that shrunk dramatically. It used to be the whole screen. So as we go along, we need to kind of zoom our screen out to see the next movements. But having a 3x movement from 3 billion to 10 billion here, you're going to want to wait for this thing to kind of correct a bit, right? That's kind of what, at least to drop onto that, you know? It could go as low as here. That's kind of the worst case. You wouldn't want to see it go lower than that. And this is also kind of a liquidity zone. We can see this was tested with a lot. So this is how you can kind of lay this out. And you're going to see, this is how I'm telling you, any meme coin you can do this cycle. You're going to see these downwards moves. And you're going to see like kind of a rotation like this, right? Now whether this keeps going down and then bounces around here or something, It's that rounded structure that we're looking for, right? So just remember that you want to see that rounded structure, but it can happen on a much quicker time frame. So you do sometimes have to zoom in a little bit and see that, okay, this is, you know, it's starting. Does it bounce here, or does it go lower and then bounce and then make a bigger, wider structure? That's kind of what you pay attention to on this type of stuff. But see how this will fake people out. They'll be like, oh, it's bullish again because it broke this little channel that it was going down. But it could just break right back down in it. So we talked about Pepe way back here, everybody. You know, obviously we talked about it when it pumped. Probably around here as well, when it had its second pump. And then we sort of... No, this is... We're talking about Pepe in 22. What is this? This is when Deck Screener started or something. No way. Oh no, yeah, this is when Pepe launched. Yeah, it was when Pepe launched. Yeah, sorry, things are just tripping me out there. 2023. Whoa, feels like it's so long ago. So anyways, that rounded bottom we were talking about, that's why we were talking about it here. Because I think that's what we see. You know, this rounding. And this sort of cup, you could say, forming. You know, you could say this is the handle once it breaks out above this cup. We're gonna see some real movement. So if that lines up again with something like a tweet from Roaring Kitty or the stock breaking out big time, you're gonna see this thing moon big time. And just to go to the all-time highs is like, you know, even from here almost a 6x. So that, and I think that's easy. It's what happens after that, right? We can also see that, like, throughout this time, it was very similar to this time frame, that we have this drowning out of volatility, right? Keeps drowning out, a spike here, drowning out, and then it starts kind of trickling back in. Now it's bulging back in. It's really starting to come back in. And so I think we'll see in the next few weeks even some massive movement from things like GME and other meme coins, of course, in the space through this alt season that we're talking about. This with Ethereum is finally looking good too. Looking for this to overcome. Then you'll have these kind of, those key areas there. I think that'll be kind of your next zone to play into. See how that soul, how does that soul play? Did I mark it? I didn't even mark anything on soul. It's really spiking people around here. Like, we could see this happen. Sharp downtrend, sharp uptrend, sharp downtrend again. So it's going to make lower highs until it spikes through, and then it's really going to push. But like something like this candle that we're seeing right now, like it's just showing how much strength above 250. It spiked under this low here. And now we're going to see it play on the upside. But really good bullishness overall, I would say. You know, some of the tokens we're looking at previously, they are down bad, but we'll bring them up. Up only. We had two major spikes. This one was 1 million in volume, and then 1.5 million in volume next candle. And they just seem to get bled down. So someone's not done selling on this thing. And then we had another one just today, 2 million volume on one candle, and then about 300, another million on the next two 1 hour candles. And so someone's got something loaded up near the tops of this, I would imagine. And they're either exiting or they're selling at like 2x and they're just dumping this thing. It's a matter of time until this will break up. The show will start again. You know, we all hear up only on X all day, every day. People use it as one of the most used, I would say, catchphrases for the bull market. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of selling on this. I would wait for this trend to really fully take over. This was the low, so we're already out of that, but we're waiting for this thing to break back, I would say, up above this, which I think is like 4 million sort of mark, and then that's where it's going to really start to rocket. But yeah, you know, there's sellers, and I would say as soon as the show, anything happens with the show, this thing's going to be easily all-time high and go, go, go. So it's going to be one of those cases of like zoom down your chart because this thing's going to moon. Let's see what else we got here. Everything really took a dip, you know? Everything really took a dip. You know, I won't bring up Aeon. That one's still got work to do. Doge Father, I aped into that the other day, and you could have made like a good 2-3x. Still holding some of that though. I think that one, you know, an Elon tweet, and it's going huge. I think a chart like this to me is interesting because there's something here, and people have been selling, capitulating these lows for a long time. You know, since sort of end of July, this thing has been consistently getting sold down, but now I think we're pushing, once we push through this zone here between the 6 to 8.5 mil zone, if we can reclaim this, then it's going to really move up into this zone here, and then next zone, and just playing it zone to zone. So that's kind of what we look for stuff that's beat down that we might still be holding. If any of you guys do hold that, because I know I talked about that way back when. Aurora. This one's another one we talked about recently. You know, we shared it between the 5 mil and 2 mil zone. It ripped to 25 mil, retested back actually near where the entry was called 5 mil. It never got to those lows again though, and so I think it's gone a good bounce from here all the way up to 12 mil already from, you know, the lows of 499, 5 mil exactly. And now we can see it's starting to move upwards again constructively. Wait for this thing to break this trend to really confirm. And then up above, I would say here. Probably closer to there. Yeah, up above there would look a lot nicer. So right up above 11 mil, maybe even 10 mil would be perfect. Yeah, psychological resistance and everything. It did bounce off of this many times previously. But this, I like this one, more hits along the way on the bounce down. So I want to reclaim that. Reclaiming 10 mil, this thing, 10, 11 mil, it could go really good. I mean, it already looks good, but it could look amazing. Another one we saw a lot of drop on recently was Mudang, which we called way back. You know, you could have entered in here. You could have entered anywhere throughout here. So we're way up from there. But, you know, from the tops here where it hit about 700 mil, we have dipped down to 390, so almost a 50% sort of retracement if we look at it from that leg. And I think I was trying to draw a box that made most sense for this. It's tough though, because this I think could go down lower still. It's a huge box though, I don't know if it goes that low. That's why I was thinking right around here is more probable. It's been stopping sort of in the midpoint of that. But again, we're just looking for when this thing starts to break this little bit of a downtrend that it's in. And we've seen this downtrend sort of start as soon as BTC dominance started to rise, and the majors started to take reign. And look at that, right? Nice bounce, and it's going to just surge upwards in price because there's a lot of buying power right now coming into the market. A lot of buying power coming in. There's that one we drew. And I think we're looking at Sol to be kind of doing the same sort of thing. Yeah, you could say that's it. It's not as clean as this though. Right. But the poke out of that for BTC was like that, right? To just looking at it from the structure that we drew here. And it does actually look similar. It's just the spike up happened earlier on BTC. This is our log chart. it really feels like we're just about to send through this. So that's all I'm going to talk about tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for allowing me rant to you guys about all these coins. And, you know, we'll definitely check out some new ones in the upcoming streams. But as always, if you want to join the Telegram, you won't probably be able to click on that link anymore because it's now gated up. It's $20 to join. You just have to @ me on Telegram @ANJOII, and we'll get you in there for some early calls. Plenty of 100x's for everybody. There's no need to kind of FOMO about stuff at this point, guys. I know we see things like Chill Guy, 400, 500 mil in one day. You know, we've seen Goat to $1 billion in a week, and Peanut to almost 2 billion or over 2 billion in, again, a week. So like these, they're going to keep happening. Imagine this happening every week, that there's $1 billion coin from zero. And during the most intense parts of this cycle, I would say you're going to see 10 of those to $1 billions happening per day almost. So strap on your seatbelt for this one. You know, lock in. It's going to be tiring. You're going to get tired. So make sure you rest and hydrate properly, because it's going to get crazy, and you want to be here for this point, because you can see a lot of time gets spent going sideways up and down than the time that goes straight up. And it's during the times that go straight up that things get really crazy. And this is just when it's really starting to get crazy, I think, for this cycle. This was previous projections I had. Normie thinks to 500. The ETH last cycle percentage based gain top to top, it takes us to about 880. And then my personal thought would be up to 1,000. But we also had the crazy target of 2,000, which if things go absolutely crazy, that's kind of where I think we're going to go. That means you could have a safe play, even on something like Solana, relatively safe, and still make anywhere from 2 to 8x from where we're at. With like a size too. You could have big size in them. I want to see what this trader main status is about. Pump and dumpers. I mean, do you expect something different from something like someone like Andrew Tate? Anyways, we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.